at a label I was signed to, like they're like, oh, you don't want to talk about the title of the track or say it, and I'm like what? Isn't that the purpose of the song? Is to like talk about what the title is? Like,
that would be the purpose.
Yeah, and so I mean, I got away from them. Don't worry, I'm independent 100% now. I love my milk crate.
People are crazy about their control over an art.
I learned that, bro, even on the smallest label, and I'm so glad. I got offers from, like, decent independent labels, and I already was like, okay, I'm not ready for that. But I took a chance, like, with a label, and even, like, dude, I lost the rights to my name for, like, a few months.
Crazy.
I didn't even know PvP.
Yeah, they owned your likeness, too. You probably couldn't even, like, say you owned pictures of yourself for a little bit.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just even, it was like, when I get in the booth, I would spit bars like PvP, but then it was like, no, spit these bars like this. I was like, no, you signed me for what you saw, and this is what you're gonna get. And that's why immediately once I got out of that, and shout out my guy, like, we're all cool. This is no disrespect. I learned a lot from you, and you taught me a lot. And that's where, like, I approached it like a man. And I think that's the thing too. Maybe we can talk about here, you know, with I'm not talking about you yourself, but like, how would you define yourself? Are you independent or are you a mainstream artist? If you don't mind me asking, like,
I'm totally independent. Like, not totally independent, but like, if you had to ask me on which side of that spectrum,
you're an independent
totally on the independent
because
side.
I like pay attention. I'll dive in on the YouTube. You know, I'll see you do some shows like in random cities pop out. You know,
for sure.
And that's where I can catch the vibe. Like some of your shows, like you had mentioned to me, you said you have a really good pool in Denver, right? I found a clip off YouTube of you in Denver, right? And it reminded me a lot of like the atrium at the Catalyst. Have you ever performed at the Catalyst?
No.
That would be a great. I could see you. The atrium's about like 300-400 people with an upstairs and a bar.
Right.
Like what I like dug up was that type of vibe.
Sure.
Definitely.
100%.
Man, you know what? I gotta tap in with some people. Definitely. I gotta see if I think you would do well out there. I don't know. Like just
so.
Like your music, and especially to the artists that you've worked with. Like, and how I expressed to you out in Santa Cruz, like, bro, that's like what they on out there, you know? Like, get lit, get turned, like, dope, you know, like that. Right. That's what, like, that's what it's about. What's legal? Like,
I totally get it. I totally get it. I get exactly what you're saying.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about who Henry is. We already talked about music, maybe some hobbies and stuff. I know you're from Massachusetts. Does that mean you're a Celtics fan?
Does, yeah. Probably shouldn't
shout out
here. I might
no, dude, how about this? Look.
Beat on the way out the studio.
Look. I learned you don't walk up to anyone with a baseball hat in LA. I learned that first day I was here. Yep. But my whole thing, my pops taught me, shout out 87C. I love you, Dad. He taught me baseball were fans, right? Right? I don't care if you're a Celtics fan. I don't care.
Fair enough.
Like, it's basketball. We enjoy basketball.
Yeah.
Right? Like, when I took my friend Efren to his first baseball game, he didn't know anything. He's a big soccer guy.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you like it? Okay. You know, like, he was a fan of the sport, you know? Do you think that's, like, people are so caught up in their ego, you know, maybe, like, with sports? Like, I almost think now sports and football is like the Coliseum back in the day where they put lines of people. Give them food and beer and they'll stay distracted.
Interesting. I don't disagree with that. I think sports are like one of my favorite.
Why won't they hit Patrick Mahomes?
What do you mean?
Right? You watch a game the other night?
Yeah.
I mean, bro, he had a 7-yard run, right? 2 big dudes.
You think it's fixed? Is that what you're saying?
The only sport I think is fixed, truly, is football.
Wow.
You can't fix baseball. How can you fix baseball? I mean, hit a baseball. Oh, you need to hit it right here.
No, you tell a pitcher, you know.
Basketball. I've heard crazy things where there's like, oh, there's magnets in the rims and they'll flip a switch and it'll guide into the hoop.
We've just gotten so good at doing certain things as humans that at a certain point, other humans are going to assume it's fake because it's that good, right?
You can't. Stephen Curry, AI can't do Stephen Curry. 50 feet, pull-up jumper.
He's a little different than the rest of the world, you know?
I remember him at Davidson, bro. Right? Final Four, bro. I was like, my dad told me, he was like, man, he's probably going to go to like the Knicks or the Timberwolves. And then we got him, bro. Warrior basketball, up until that point, bro, like 20 wins a season. Yeah, we have Mike Dunleavy and Jason Richardson. And we had Derek Fisher.
Yeah, you guys had good eras before that too. Chris
But
Mullin.
you know, like, what else are you into? I know you like basketball. Like,
Love basketball.
You like art?
Yeah, I feel like for me, I like all forms of art, but I'm really into movies. I've been doing some acting stuff.
Didn't you mention to me you just recently landed a small gig?
Yeah, I've been doing a little acting stuff. Nothing that I'll speak too far on.
Yeah, no, we're not going to get too into it. But
different things.
You had mentioned to me you were expanding and you were getting into acting. Let's not say you were doing anything, but you were just trying to expand on your
trying
resume.
to just show my face a little bit more and build the brand and get myself out there and show people that, I can do more than just freestyle or be in the studio making music. I got a lot of talent.
And hey, I think really quick, I think our in-house guest here, Kuya, new host of the new show, The Lost Element, coming here pretty soon, filling in my old Sunday slot. I think he's got a quick question for you, if you don't mind.
Let's hit it.
Yo, so Henry, man, we just listened to the Michael Cera track. You know, it was a real vibe. Like, I could see, like, the listeners rolling up one, listening to it while taking a puff. But I want to ask, like, you were saying you're dropping singles and you're in album mode. So I want to know, like, that was like a chill song. Like, what's the tone going to be for this next album?
All right, good question. I would say, honestly, consider Michael Cera like a sample-sized, like, taste test almost. It was like I needed to figure out what people were feeling and what they weren't. It was almost an experiment, if you will. And knowing, like, that there's a certain group of people that it resonates with, and then there's another group of people that are much more, heavy hip-hop, lyrical-driven kind of fans. Now I know where to put songs like that on the album. You know what I mean? And so I would say there is definitely more music like that. I got other stuff that I was lucky enough to be able to make with Elise and stuff that Elise has produced for me.
Yeah, that's because like I remember when I first listened to you, bro. That like I was asking you earlier. I was like, we got that turn. That's me. But like I like how you're one of those artists who is willing to step away from what people know you for.
Right.
And like even for instance, like the artists we've been working with, like I found some like not off tempo but not off genre tracks, and I was like, okay, maybe this isn't for you, but you were trying to see what else you can do.
Absolutely.
And that's what I've been doing too. Like I created an alter ego called LA Joe Dirt, that I'm messing with, where it's all
it's
like
funny, actually.
Yeah, well it's just like my friend was like, what are you gonna tell people? Like, what does that mean? I'll be like, I'm a redneck from Mendocino that got lost in LA and became a rapper. Right? Like Slim Shady's an alter ego, like Beyonce has we all have that alter ego. My alter ego is a LA Joe Dirt. I'm a legit redneck that got lost in LA and became a rapper. Henry, when I moved here, I didn't know what I was doing. I packed a U-Haul the night before COVID lockdown in the Bay Area and I moved here. Started working at Ralph's making deli sandwiches. Did I ever think I was going to be stacking chips in a different way other than on sandwiches? No, now I'm sitting here at this beautiful radio station. Got my beautiful daughter. Got my business partner here. And we're doing it. 101.5. But guys,
respect.
We are coming out here. This is so great. Like I'm so excited too right now. And it's such an honor, bro. I just want to say shout out to you. Like, we made this work, and like it's just it's really cool because I just want to say, and I am going to say this on air to you, bro, that it absolutely meant the world to me that you stayed for my whole set.
Man,
seriously. Yeah, I've had Afro watch my sets. I've had some people, but I could see how engaged you were, and yeah, dude, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank you for like staying there. It meant the world to me because that showed me that like don't give up, bro. Like, you may not have, like, what you think you need right now, but someone like that, if they see what they saw in you, you're doing something right.
Respect, bro.
So right here, I'm going to dap you up, man. All
absolutely,
love.
Bro.
It's always great. And a couple more questions, too. Do you have any shows or a tour? I mean, I want to see you perform. You've seen me perform. I want to see you perform now.
My agent is working tirelessly on a tour plan as we speak.
Are we going to slip him into a little hippie fest or what?
That would be dope, man.
I'll get
Super
you on
down.
there. Come on.
Super down.
There's a
lot of
The koala gotta be right.
a lot of plants over there. I like that.
Dude, that's what we do.
A lot of plants over there.
Like, When like even when the first big artist I worked with, like for me, I just was like, okay, you're doing this now, right? And like that's the thing where I need to remember, like, I'm legit, like, I'm a member of this community. Like, I ruffle feathers, as you must say. My boy always says, he's like, man, when's PvP politically correct? Only on the radio. No. So for me, like doing this, man, it's like, when you started, what did you tell yourself? Like, seriously, bro. Like, it took me a long time to get to where I even can start doing this, but I know you've been in the industry longer than me. What did it take?
I tattooed my hands and my neck before anything
Wait,
else.
By yourself? You did those?
No.
Oh,
When I
was
first started, before I started getting all my other tattoos that you see everywhere else on my body,
yeah.
with the exception of my face, I did my hands and my neck first because I told myself that and this is very foolish for anyone who's listening, but
you're being honest.
I told myself I am taking away my ability to get a real job. And so
Respect.
I kind of told myself if I didn't make it happen,
nothing was going to happen.
I'd probably be dead, right? Like there'd probably not be a good side to the story.
Bro. Same thing.
So
I feel
that was kind of what I told myself, and I don't, I don't think that's how people should build their careers or chase their dreams.
No, it shouldn't be, but
for me, in coming up, this is 5 years ago, right? This is however long ago, 6 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, because you've been with Juice since 18, right?
19, you know what I mean? I believe it was.
Yeah.
And so, point being,
yeah,
I just think I did it, and I think I treated it unhealthy. I think I treated it in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
And it resulted in great things, but I wouldn't recommend that to other people, that way of going about it.
So, what year did you get those tattoos? 16?
No, 18.
The 2018?
2018.
This is me being me, but we made it through that 2015, 2018 SoundCloud era.
Oh, for sure.
The peepers.
16, 17 really was the prime.
Dude, the Zandemic, that was crazy, bro. Kids out there.
There was some good music on there, though.
Oh, no.
Great music.
No, you know what I miss? I miss Dat Piff.
Mixtape.
Mixtape.
What you know about Spinrilla?
What do you know about... what was the one I used to use
You know
back
nothing
then?
about LimeWire?
Well, I was going to get there. We were going through generations. What about Napster?
You know, I know something about Napster, but I prefer if I didn't. Like, I don't even want to know anything about Napster. No disrespect, Napster.
Lars Ulrich was the first person to say F streaming. Because Metallica was the one that caught on. And they're like, Napster's taking our music and people can download it for free.
Now everybody's saying it.
This is what I don't get. Like we discussed. It's like how the world works. How can someone that's never made a single song, the executives of Spotify, Apple, Tim Cook, whatever, how can they determine what one play is worth? Just like how financial advising companies can buy tech companies and pharmaceutical and baby formula and determine what goes into those products. It's the same concept. How can a guy that's never even touched a musical instrument determine that your one play is worth 100,000ths of a cent? And you get 1 billion streams and you only get $45,000? Bro. I mean, Soulja Boy, like you say, iTunes, right? Those 99-cent reel or 99-cent single days, those were the days.
They were.
How do you, if you don't, not on a business scale, but how do you still get sales, like single sales? Like,
Hell yeah. Excuse me.
Do you still get like, I mean, is it like from people you wouldn't expect? Like, is it like, are there certain countries that are still using that platform? Well,
I think honestly, it's people who are passionate about supporting artists. Like,
do you like the donation approach?
Oh, depends what you mean by that.
So, like, me and him, we do a showcase, and we have a offer based for your slot.
Sure.
So you just offer some bread, what you think we're worth. Well, we were tired of putting a value on an artist for their performance.
I think that's a good way of doing it. I saw LaRussell doing that with his shows, actually. He was
707.
He was literally saying whatever you value these concerts at is what you can pay, and they'll either accept or deny your offer. And I think that's like,
I would love to see you and LaRussell on a track.
You will.
That would. All right. He said it here first on LA Lifestyle. We got a few minutes here, guys. It's been definitely a fun introduction, man. Henry, just some final thoughts here. What are some tips and advice to you work with Juicy, you're exposed to this industry in a certain way, more people, you see a lot. What's just one tip for someone that's like right there kind of getting their feet wet? I'm not trying to ask too much, but
but I think it's
just a fair, hey, this is what you need to look out for.
I'll be real. So, and this is much more pertaining to music than any other art, if that makes sense. This is much more music than anything else. But if you signed up to be an artist, just understand that you really signed up to be a content creator who makes music. And I think that's a really hard awakening and a really hard truth for a lot of people who, as you said, are just starting to get their feet wet. Because when I first started this whole music thing, this whole journey, I had no intentions of ever putting my face on screen as much as I do, or creating as much content as I do, or swallowing my pride as many times as I do to be able to go and create content for something that maybe I don't even wholeheartedly believe in. But that's the name of the game. And so if you aren't ready to do those things in terms of being a content creator first and an artist second and really a musician second, it's going to be a hard ride. That's the best advice that I can give.
Definitely, man. And that's a good piece of advice right there. Let's go.
Tough reality, huh?
Yeah. So, I'll fill in on that. I'm not, where you're at, obviously, in your career, but one thing for me from an event coordinator and a radio DJ here in LA is every time I don't trust my gut, something bad happens. And I've really thought about it recently, where I'm like, I was right. And that's the trippy thing. How much of an influencer, I'm good with words, but then I think I'm not, because the way, the people are better with their words than I am, on a, speaking tone, where it kind of is just it's just crazy, bro. This world is crazy. And trust your gut. And even fantasy football. I asked my butcher. He's like, nah, you should do this. And then I was like, nah, okay, I'll do that. And then I ended up losing my football championship because of it. I mean, even that, that's what LA has gotten the best out of me. And one thing, shout out my boy Mercutio X. This dude's one of the most, cigarette in mouth, right? He's a real dude. He's a real person. He's got a pretty open mind. He's like, I don't get why people disrespect you, bro. And that was the first time I was like, you're right. I do, take that shade, so what I'm trying to say, guys, is be your authentic self. Henry, he's lived his life, authentic self. Me, PBP, my own authentic self. And we're out here, baby.
That we are.
Yes.
Thank you again for having me, man.
Yeah, Henry, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I just want to thank you again for the opportunity to have you on the show. Thank you for being your genuine self. Thank you for being able to come out and check us out here, man. It really means a lot to us.